Greetings and salutations. Ben here, Josh there. You right everywhere. Global.
Right over there.
Nationwide. Worldwide, in fact. Sunday night hanging right here on Sunday. If you're new, please subscribe. Me for returning. Welcome back. And speaking of welcome back, we got my good friend Josh returning tonight for another episode of we can answer both types of questions. We can talk about guitars or cars.
Cars, guitars.
Guitars, Cadillacs, and firm feeling women? No, it's a lot.
Weapon questions.
Guitars that too good and firm feeling women. Like, yep, sounds good. Let's see. Who do we already got a bunch of people in here. All right, can we get past 18 so we're legal? That's why I'm just asking. First in here. What? How is Michael Krause first in here? That doesn't matter. Because usually Earl's in here. Must not have kept his message yet. He's usually in here at like noon or something. Unless he deleted on it. Then we got Zach Thong. And then we got Matt from Colin Music. He was hanging out with Chuckling with Charles earlier today. That was a fun show. No, Chatting with Charles. That's it. Chuckling with Charles is the other comedy channel. Which is just him doing reactions to comedians. I don't know. Paul McNary. He's solo tonight. None of the cats. Just a humanoid-shaped object. What's up, Paul? And we got Art in here. We've got Jim in here. Jim! Forgot. Continuing the trend. Hey, Jim, you free next Sunday? I meant to email him earlier today. I forgot. You want to guess next Sunday? I got some amp questions, and you would have the answers. So hopefully by the time I get further down the roll call, I'll see an answer to that. Cushman NYC is here. Billy Baloney survived yesterday's Cleveland Oktoberfest. Yep, I saw it. It was big. Ferd Burfel, the Grand Poobah himself. There's Terry's 3 Gs. Moderator to the stars and me. We got Christopher Live Silva. He's sitting in his car waiting to go see Accept KK's Priest. All right, well, there we are. I'm surprised he has any hearing. He goes to more live shows than all of us combined, I swear. There's Gary. I got to reply to Gary's email.
Gary.
There's Earl. Who else we got here? Scrolling. Cushman NYC is here. Hey, there's Trav. Symmetry. Hobo Road. The Hobo Roadie. 6-string Stanger. And
what up?
There's Charles 75N. Good doctor. What's up, Doc? Wayne McConnell. Not a doctor. Hit Metalworks. Sometimes a doctor. Well, he likes to play doctor. Ooh, he's like, too much information. There's Greasy Monkey Guitars. Welcome back. Lawrence Cash of Alaska. Great to see you.
What up, Hip?
He's on the road. Or he's on the rod. I'm not sure. Way different incantation. That could be way different. All right. Can't talk. All right. Jay Paul's in the house. Welcome. New name in here, I think. Awesome. We got Jeff K's in here. Herb at Fireside Studio. Mark Taft. There's Michael Krause again. Who else? I didn't forget you, Gary. Well, intermittently forgot you. There's Ryan, host of the OU812 network of affiliate stations, coast to coast.
What up?
Sure. We'll go with that. There's Blue Mox. He's here. Steve, Steve's here. Marsha Murray's here. All right, and I'm caught up, apparently. Herb's on his phone, so just consider him saying hi to you, even though he didn't tag you. All right, folks? I'll pass that along. I'm always happy to do that. When someone says, hey, I'm on my phone, I'm like, let them know. Because not everybody reads the chat, apparently, even though they're in the chat. I don't understand it. So there we are. So I still got to come up with a guest for next week. That's fine. He's on the road. Right. So I
got a 4.5-year-old. You could interview her. Be entertaining.
There's Sean Hockey.
Sean Hockey.
And OTW, Music and Art. Another new name in here, I think. Possibly. Welcome.
At least new to our brain cells.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I can reply to Gary's email right now. I don't think those tuners will work, Gary, because I'd have to drill different holes, and I'm not drilling holes in a vintage headstock. But I appreciate that, and I was tempted to even grab them myself, anyways. But for other use. But I've got tuners like that already off my American Strat that I'm not using, which I'm going to use in one of my replacement Fender necks that I have. I don't know, Billy. He's just ranting, and I appreciate a good rant.
See, I feel like a year or so ago on YouTube on my Android, I would start typing someone's name with an @ symbol, and it would pull them up.
Huh.
And now it doesn't do it anymore.
Weird.
I don't know if that's because I'm on beta or what, but yeah, it stopped doing it. It's annoying.
There's Bo, Guitar Man 45. Hello, Ben and Josh. Thought Josh would be in some cool 1960 T-Bird convertible.
I don't own a T-Bird, man. I got the Galaxy. Well, 2 Galaxy 500.
Gary says, I think they're 8s vintage size. Yes, but they use a dimple to position themselves at one screw, whereas these ones are 2 screws, kind of a diamond shaped back. Used 60s into the 70s, well into the 70s, through the 70s, I believe. But Gear Junk 35's here.
What up?
I agree. It was a good show this morning, Charles. You wouldn't even know that Matt was half asleep. I know he's a bit of a night person, so that's how I know. Got 47 people in here. Awesome.
Jesus. All right.
If you have any questions for us, you can tag us with the ad, or if you're a member, you stand up with a member milestone message, because it's green. It's always green in here for some reason. Right, because members are green. With envy? Nope. Privilege. Or stand out with super chat. Oh, and I suppose we put the banner up. Virtual tip jar is always open, just because I like to eat, and so does the cat. I'm just saying. Send a pic. Thanks, Gary. That's even better. I can handle pictures. Picture pages, picture. No, not that kind of pictures. Anyways, who else we got in here? Everybody. All right, we're caught up. 43 people. 4 people just left. Oh, heard my name. I'm good. Okay.
What's up, Charles?
4 people left to go watch Charles' show from earlier today because they're like, oh, it's got to be better than this. Probably they're right. No, I don't know. Don't eat the cat. Exactly. No, I was late getting set up. I told Josh I'd be about 15 minutes getting set up, and I'm like, nah, it really only take me 5 or 6. Till I came downstairs and noticed the cat puked everywhere. So, yeah.
Opposite for me. I came up and
she was bugging me while I was watching a video half an hour previous because it was fresh. That was for sure. So that had to be dealt with. Yeah, see there, Steve. Oops. Remember milestone. See, it's all in green. Not olive green, Charles. Don't get too fucking excited.
All in green.
Yeah. Tom Raines is here.
Yeah, I came up to set up and realized that it got cold last night, so my wife turned the AC just to fan. So I came up here and it was nice and toasty.
Oh, yeah.
So I grabbed the first guitar and went, plang. Ooh, yep. It needs to drop about 20 degrees in here. Now they're probably all back in tune.
Yeah. I put the furnace on last night. So I was like, it's kind of chilly in here. And I'm like, do I need to put the furnace on? And I brought up the old weather app, and we were going down to 6 degrees Celsius overnight. And went, fuck that.
We got down to
that outside. It's not doing
40,
it here.
48 degrees here. So when I woke up and I hadn't kicked the furnace on, so the house was like 65. I was like, oh, well, that explains why my 4-year-old was climbing into our bed and putting her cold freaking feet into my armpit.
Right? That's awesome. Cool. I haven't talked to Doug lately, Mark. And that's great. Oh, yeah, and I was telling Michael Krause there the other night I was going to be shooting a guitar demo dedicated to him because I was at Long McQuaid last week, Josh, as one does. I'll pick up the rest of the strings that I put on layaway a year ago because I'm that poor. I look on the wall, and there's I didn't look close, so I don't know if it's a Gibson or an Epiphone because I was looking across the room, but there was a Theodore hanging there. And I went, well, you know that's still going to be here next week. No one's buying that between now and next week. So
got to review that one.
Yeah, I'm going to review it and dedicate it to Michael Krause. So, yeah.
Oh, those things.
Yeah. And there's also the weirdest, I think it was labeled as a Starcaster, but it's a pink Squire Strat, white pickguard, single humbucker in the bridge. That's
Isn't
it.
Is that a Blink 182?
Well, that's what I thought. I'm like, is that a Tom DeLonge or something?
Yeah.
And they're like, who's Tom DeLonge? I'm like, the only reason I know his name is because he has signature guitars. Like, that's literally him and what's his name? Jim Root from Slipknot. I only know his name because he's got signature Fender guitars. Because I don't pay attention to those bands.
And Orange Amp.
And Orange Amp, yeah. Well, I get it, because other than Pantera and Metallica, the only other t-shirt you saw kids walk around with for 20 years was Slipknot shirts. So I get it. Sign them up. Apparently people listen. Hey, Sassy Cat, welcome.
I used to live like 5 blocks from where Corey Taylor grew up. Out in Evansdale.
My only connection is I like it when he hires RJ to play for him. That's my favorite thing about him.
Dude can sing.
He can sing.
He can sing.
I'm like, why the fuck are you growling all the time with that Slipknot band if you can actually sing? He goes, that's what the gig was.
Well, that's why he did Stone Sour, and that's why he did his new CFMT or whatever it is, Corey motherfucking Taylor, his solo stuff.
There's Eddie Van Haskell.
Eddie Van Haskell.
But yeah, I'm ready for the Gibson victories to come out, Sassy. For sure.
I'd like to see one. Too bad I don't have an actual like Gibson dealer within an hour of me.
I laugh. Each week Gibson puts out from the mod shop 4 choices, right? And some people are like, oh, they're awesome. And other people are like, oh, they're terrible. And this guy actually commented, way to be, Gibson. You're so stuck in the 50s. And so I'm like, I can't leave that. So I'm like, replied, yeah, like 99% of their customer base wants them to be.
Yep.
That's like making fun of Gretsch for, oh, why did you put a sparkle finish on a guitar? Because we fucking own sparkle.
Why change it when it fucking works?
Exactly.
Just they work.
You. Yeah. Well, they released the Theodore, Billy. Anything goes once the Theodore was re-released. You know what I need? A guitar in the shape of a flower with a Explorer neck on it.
Yeah, they could have called it a tulip.
That's all I see. You know.
Or a Thermidor. I don't know.
Right. Zach grew up 2 towns over from some 41. Yeah, they were out of Ajax, I believe.
Dude, they were my jam back in the day. Back like early days of when I was in the military.
You're showing your age, Josh. Right there. You're showing your age.
Well, dude, I graduated in 2000.
I know.
And I was young in 2000.
I know. I get it. No, because it was that right behind stuff that I was listening to. And then they came out and they're like, I'm like, what is it? They're like, at first people were saying post-punk. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, so you used to be punk and now you're not? Like, that is the most vague description ever for music. That's like saying, I used to be in a country band, but now I play rock.
It was what came
punk
after pop punk, basically.
Yeah, and then I was like, pop punk. I was like, oh. And I'm like,
but they were like heavier pop.
Like, so
punk.
Green Day. And they're like, what's wrong with Green Day? And I said, well, that's where we have the problem. And I walked away.
If it depends. If you look at Green Day as just a band, it's fine. But if you call them old school punk, you're very wrong.
Yeah, because first of all, Billy ain't fucking British. Even though he sounds British, I'm pretty sure he just has head cold for the last 30 years.
That
could be. Yeah. Benolin's your friend. Just saying. Yeah.
Someone was yelling at me to show the Les Paul again. It's just a classic 60s.
Here we go. Yeah.
All beat up and aged.
We'll show off the single binding just to piss off Charles. Yep. There it is. I kind of like it because it's kind of like halfway between a custom and a standard.
Well, the only thing I really changed on this is the pick guard because and the chip,
Right.
because it was all aged, like all the binding is perfectly yellowed and everything, and it's awesome.
Right.
The pick guard, whatever they made it of, turned like pink, and it's ugly, and it says like 1960 across it, and I was like, nah, not my vibe.
No.
So I just put, made it look like a custom, even though it's not. And I dig it.
Yeah, I dig that.
I'd love to take the covers off the 57s and my Epiphone and see if
you don't know
they're
what
black bobbined. Yeah, and swap them out into that.
Yes, Steve, I believe it's the Gibson Victory from the 80s. Jeff likes the guitar.
I do too.
Zach says he jammed with a guitar player from Sum 41 in the acoustic room at Long McQuaid. That makes sense.
See if I can grab this guitar without knocking over the ring light and everything. Well,
what's up, Bonkers?
That's got the 57s in it.
Yeah.
I really like that guitar.
Look, every time I'm like, does it have a rash? Looks like it's got a rash. Which actually, that's what Bird's Eye is, a rash. So.
Yep. But it's got all the movement in it from that Bird's Eye.
Yep.
But this one's also like a damn near 10-pounder, whereas the 60s is like 7.9.
Right.
This one needs new frets too. They're getting a little on the almost non-existent scale.
Oh,
yeah.
My knees hurt. That sucks. And yes, I have.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. When your dad's a car guy and he's got classic cars out in the yard, which, God bless Detroit, they did not know how to seal an oil pan on a car for about 3 decades. And your cat decides to rub itself on said oil pan and then come in the house. Then you're using a combination of like engine degreaser and dish soap to wash the cat.
I pulled my 64 out to go for that cruise last week and had it all sparkled up, detail the interior, and my neighbor kind of kitty cross behind me has bird feeders and stuff. I walked out and there was a flock of birds and they all got scared and took off and flew over my car back to their yard. Had to wash the car all over again because I had the top down. They pooped inside.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's yeah.
I hate birds.
They're just little dinosaurs. I don't like them.
Well, that means probably
sounds like a telly I know. Oh, okay. I'm not sure which telly, but I bet you it's a good one. Oh, I did see another question, I thought, or something. I have to go back.
Oh, he's talking about your frets.
Oh, yeah. Well,
sounds like a telly.
We're talking about that off air.
Yep. Except the fret job on this is way easier than yours. This doesn't even have nubs, so it's real easy.
Oh, way easy. Yeah.
That's like I'll probably try and do that myself once I get set up in Germany.
Sure, Mike. Sure. That's why I love Mike. We agree to disagree.
Almost had to snag on another Les Paul today. I contemplated driving an hour and a half away because it was the opposite of this one. It was the Alpine White, and I was like, ooh, do I need it? Do I need to spend the money on it? It was also a custom, an actual custom, and
what's up, Double D?
The Dastardly Dave. What up?
Gary sold the Backbreaker 5000 27 11.2. That reminds me. I think that's about 78. Mine was a 72 Deluxe, and one of the reasons I got rid of it, I couldn't wear it more than 15 minutes. I weighed 128 pounds. I was 6 feet tall, and I swear it was just curving my spine into an S because it was just like straight down. Oh.
Well, and of course, back then you were slinging it low as hell and using your shoulder to strum.
Yeah, which I can't play from the shoulder at all anymore because my shoulders are so fucked up. And I know all of a sudden when I would perform, and all of a sudden I get into it and just start playing from the shoulder, and all of a sudden they stop, between songs. I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do? When? How? Oh, played from the shoulder. Right. And that's why my hand or wrist is always anchored to the guitar body now. Can't play from the shoulder if your hand's touching the guitar body.
Yeah, I've almost always got to have my pinky if I'm chugging or anything like that. But yeah, if you get into big chord hitting, it's almost always from the shoulder.
Yeah. Blue Mox was asking, what rigs does Josh play through? I like how it's plural. He assumes you have multiple rigs.
Which is true. Well, you notice the Marshall stack is kind of missing back here.
Yeah.
In favor of my Little Blues Junior.
Yeah.
Because my wife is setting up to do her own YouTube TikTok-y thing with alcohol marker coloring and stuff. And so I had to make room because the other side of this attic doesn't have air conditioning. And so, or heat. So yeah, her studio got moved into here so that she can do all that. And I'm actually stealing the ring light that I bought for her and the GoPro Hero 12 that I bought for her to do that for this. So
there we go.
And the Shure SM7B did not make
two comments here. Well, first of all, hey, Fruitcake Tony. What's up, buddy?
What up, Fruitcake?
Bo says, hey, KK Priest and Acceptor in town tonight. So then I'm just going to scroll way back.
And say that, who was it that was going? They're already in the parking lot.
Here we are. There you go, Bo. Sova's there.
Tour buses are sitting next to him.
Yeah. So go on down. It's easy to find him. He's parked next to the tour buses. Just saying. So now I just got to scroll forward 20 minutes.
The last good show I went to local before it shut down was Reverend Horton Heat. That was a fun show. But then we lost our local venue, so now we've got, if anyone plays, the Electric Park Ballroom, which is a famous old venue from the 50s. Like Cash played there and everything, but whoever runs it doesn't book many people, and the sound is.
And if you get out of the habit of having decent acts, then people forget about a venue really quick.
Yeah. Well, they tried having it in their basically arena next to it, and the acoustics are so bad.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Unless it's a bunch of teenagers smoking weed, watching a metal act, forget it.
Well, if you're not in the first, I'd say 20 people deep from the stage, it's just all echo because it's just a giant dome.
Yep.
And there's no soundproofing at all.
Oh, believe me, I know. I started out by doing sound in aircraft hangars.
Oof. Oof.
I'm well aware. Oh, great. Change command ceremonies. Yeah. So at least it was, mostly vocals until they wanted the national anthem played. I'm like, oh, come on. Because I can't make it sound like shit. It's like.
Good thing I brought a spare.
Yes, Tony, Silva knows how to score guitar picks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it involves him roughing up a roadie backstage, but I don't recommend that technique, but it works for him, so hey.
Dirty Honey and Feel.
Cool.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel about this latest strain of weed. I pretty much chain smoke it. I don't think it works.
Yeah,
it tastes good. I don't cough or anything, and I don't know. Anyways, hey, speaking of Ovation Guitars, where's Ryan Hall? Just curious.
So, like trying to play an Ovarian acoustic guitar. Ovarian? Terry? Mind on something, sir?
Oh, I figure you're just yelling, Billy. Ah! Of course you do, Mike. Of course you do. Dana Electro's Ovations. Anything, like, I would go over to Mike's place. He's like, yeah, play any one of my 36 guitars. I'm like, fuck, there's not one I want to touch. God damn, Mike. That's okay, because I own all the shit he hates, and he owns all the shit I hate. But he gets good deals on it, so I can't even mock him. Because, he'll come on one of those Zoom hangs. He's like, hey, Ben, what? Snag this Dean Electro. I'm like, piece of garbage. He goes, yeah, but I paid $3 for it. And you're like, oh, well, all right, for $3.
$3, the lipstick pickups are worth that.
Maybe. They might be worth $3.
Hey, if you take them out and clip the wires, you can use them as a slide.
That's right, Mike. That's true. You do have a tell. And holy crap, I just noticed, Mike, for once you haven't been mooching a free channel membership. What's up with that? You're finally out of it. It was no funny because I remember that. He's like, no, I renounced my channel membership. And he was gifted them like 6 months in a row.
Yeah, which is BS. I've never won one.
Right?
Oh, well. The only Ovation I ever played was in Kuwait, and it was some Chief Warrant Officer 4 pilot's guitar that he brought over.
I had an Applause by Ovation briefly. I had a aluminum fretboard. Wood neck, aluminum fretboard.
How did that
Guess how well the paint was finished between that joint. It was all cracked.
Oh.
And the weird part is they painted the fretboard, and I was just like, this doesn't feel like ebony.
The fretboard.
They painted the fretboard with a brush so it looked like ebony, essentially.
Oh, God.
And then it started to rip through, and I'm like, and I don't even think it had necessarily frets, but the frets were just ridges in the fretboard.
In the fretboard, yeah.
Yeah, which is great if you want to refret it. Not.
And it's great if you're playing live on stage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm not freaking out. Yeah, what? Aluminum fretboard with built-in frets. Yeah.
Yeah, and paint it black so they play live in the heat of the sun. Nice, sizzly hot under the fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike does comment he has a Reverend and a Telly, and that's, all right, well, I can play those.
Nice, Terry, nice.
Yeah. He's trying. He's trying.
He's recovering.
Let it go, Terry. Move on. Just let it go. We'll see. Again, I paid like $5 for. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly. It's like saying offline there with the crate half stack last year. I'm gonna sell you this crate half stack. I don't think you are. $30. I guess I'm buying a crate half stack.
Let me see if I can pull up. Or did I close it already? Probably closed it.
Are we peacocking now? Always sassy. Always. It's good to see you there, my friend.
Make sure
that missed the bunch. Like you're due to show up at a Buffalo meeting, bud. Just saying. And speaking of characters, is Keith H here tonight? I haven't seen Keith here tonight either. He's probably asleep or something.
I wonder if my share screen will work for this.
Possibly.
I know I don't want to share with audio. Just share the Facebook.
Doesn't matter.
That's my buddies.
No.
In a room this size, mind you.
No.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I think all in all, he's got maybe $500 between all of it.
Right. Well, it's like I asked the pawn shop what they give it me for. They said $100 because they usually get about $150. I'm like, for an entire half stack retail? And they're like, yep. Wow. Mike says, I was given a crate bass head and a 2x15 I shouldn't have accepted it. Fair enough.
Aw, sassy. Come on.
Fair enough.
It's like I made my obligatory 15-minute appearance.
Well worth it though, Mike. That was a good score.
Nice.
But he's got a decent music store near him that actually runs sales on new retail items. So he's getting stuff below map, which is annoying. Yeah. That's my lot in life. Like I'm enough of an egomaniac. I refuse to pay full retail on anything, like without bitching and moaning about it. So I have to snag a deal of some kind.
It's like the only people that I get deals from is occasionally Bob's, but that's only if they happen to get something in on trade used.
Right?
And then if I go to like 40 minutes away to Cedar Rapids to go to our one guitar center that's near me, they won't budge on anything. I'm like, dude, this Les Paul's been sitting here for a year and a half.
Oh, I know.
You can't wiggle on it? Nope. All right. Let it sit up there.
That was like a month or two ago. I shot the demo on the Fender Lead 2. Literally rusty strings, and I'm looking, it's got a 2021 serial number. I'm like, okay, you guys have been sitting on this for 3 fucking years.
You got any wiggle room?
Minimum 2. I'll give you a year for delay in shipping and stuff because I have seen some stuff come in, and it's still last year's serial numbers just recently.
Yeah, I think when I got the made in Mexico before the white one, that blue one that I had.
Mm-hmm.
That one I bought and it showed up and it was 2 years prior.
Where's Dave, by the way? I saw Dave at the Water Buffalo meeting. It was hot in his apartment. He's debating going naked. Good thing he didn't. My sister showed up. Anywho's, yeah. I noticed something interesting recently. I was showing off a Mexican Fender. They don't say made in Mexico anymore.
So the new ones?
They now just say made in Ensenada.
Oh.
Sort of like they don't even do made in the USA anymore. It just says made in Corona.
Yeah. This one still says made in Mexico. Will it focus that? Oh, I'm impressed. It does.
Yeah.
Now, if I could figure out which way I'm tilting the guitar without spilling my beer.
Haha. That takes about 3 years of streaming every week to figure out. Minimum. Hey, there's BC Rich 581 and D White Bailey.
What up, D White?
Part of the Mississippi Mafia. What?
Yeah, the white one is the one I had to buy after I got rid of my blue one, which I actually liked my blue one better. I had what do they call that? What's the special blue? Not Pelham, but have a beer about it. No.
Oh shit.
It's not like Pacific. It's that color. And I had worked that neck in so dang good.
Well.
And the fretboard.
That's it. I was like, fuck, it's like an Olympics.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
Thank you.
I was like, New York State. I'm like, I had all these things except for the actual. I'm like, fuck.
Well, I had the P. I'm like, but it's not Pelham because I've been staring at a freaking Pelham blue goddamn Les Paul all day.
Oh, speaking of which, just random sidetrack. Did you see the Pelham blue Strat that Uncle Larry got last week?
I did not.
Oh, you wouldn't know it's Pelham blue because it's fucking green until you take the card off and then it's blue underneath. And I'm like,
yep.
It's like British racing green almost. Like
if you look at that pedal show, they had I think an SG.
Yes.
That they had for a while that they both really liked, but it was super expensive. But it was a Murphy, and they aged it to that faded green. Yeah. I was like, man, but I really like the Pelham.
So I wonder how they did it. They just put it under UV lights for like a month and a half.
I would think, yeah, just intense UV to age it.
Right. That's what it's got to be.
Because you wouldn't think
Sonic Blue is the other one, right? Sonic Blue. Thanks, Richard Clark.
Yeah, Sonic Blue is way different than
Sonic Blue is barely blue. It's almost teal half the time. It seems.
Is that what it is, Billy? Yellow clear coat?
Or the clear coat yellows over time. Right. Yes. Yeah.
So they can do the original
because the lacquer turns amber.
Yep.
And yellow and blue make green. Thanks, Billy. I think you need to be doing your own videos. Maybe borrow Charles's fucking lab coat to wear. Because you're all smart and stuff. The Mo, we got the Mo, where is
It's like that'd be the one sad thing is that I'll never be able to get this to age at all because it's that Epiphone. The Mo you know. Because it'd be fun to be able to.
Daphne Blue is another one, yeah, but I don't think Daphne Blue is that blue either.
Daphne, isn't that like a lighter? It's not like a surf. Daphne is.
Yeah, Daphne Blue, I think I get confused for surf green at times, although I'm colorblind too, so that doesn't help.
Oh, that doesn't help.
Or I can't distinguish between colors sometimes. Not so much I don't see red as green type situation like some people do.
Oh, there's some more relicking for the Gibson. Smack.
Well, yeah. I watched a headstock repair on a Gibson before tonight's show. Ted Woodford.
Luckily, I did. My old Spark 40 saved my Gibson from smacking straight into the floor. It fell off. I had my chair leaned all the way back, and I went to get out, and it knocked it up and perfectly out of the string swing and right down on the Spark 40 and into my lap. I was like, "You've got to be shitting me!" All right.
Hey, hey, John. We're getting all the blues. Cobalt blue. Sure. The Daphne almost looks like a Sonic Blue. There's Joe.
Move this back over here so I actually look like I'm looking at the camera.
Sure.
It's the problem with a 49-inch screen. Like, my monitor is way over here.
Yeah.
Is the edge of my monitor, and this is the other end.
Well, you'd be like, that's like Charles. He's got like, I don't know, like 14 monitors in his room, and he's always got one open on doing Gretsch searches. Dedicated.
Stolen.
Yeah, so yeah, Ted fixed the stolen Les Paul. Yeah, so guy brings a broken headstock Les Paul into the local music store. The guitar was stolen from that music store several years earlier. And I'm like, and the guy who brought it in isn't the guy who stole it.
No, he bought it.
Yeah.
Stolen, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's like if you steal it, you could at least try to change the number, man.
Right. Guitar porn does need a lot of screens, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun when guys would come into the pawn shop and obviously have no clue what a Les Paul is worth. Bring in like a 2002 Les Paul Custom in perfect shape, like case candy.
Yep.
And
it's been sitting in the case.
He's like, yeah, I'll take $700 for it. I'm like, police non-emergency number. Yeah, I've got a guy in here with us.
I know, Charles. It's one thing I love about you. The fact you always have a dedicated screen to Gretsch searches. I'm just saying.
There was a sparkly one this morning in my area that I thought about.
Yeah, that was impressive repair, Blue Mox. That's why he's the dude that's going to do all the work on my vintage stuff.
Oh, that's who's doing the work?
Yeah. When I can afford it, That shit ain't cheap because he's good and it's vintage gear. And so it's like, we're going to charge you twice as much because it's vintage. And I'm like, go ahead. Because I know you're going to do the job that warrants it. So,
yep.
It's the guys that'll paint your car for $50, and there's guys that charge thousands.
Yeah, there's Mako paint jobs, and then there's, people that actually spend all the time on the body work and prep before they paint the car.
Yeah.
Unlike Mako that will just go through and scuff it, spray the bugs directly into the paint.
Yeah, like you might as well go for a car wash that's spraying paint instead of water. Yeah, I saw a rare occurrence. I was ranting with the guys offline the other night that I've never seen anyone play a Jazzmaster, play jazz on a Jazzmaster. But then I was at Long Quay the other day, and there's this old boy playing on Jazzmaster or Jaguar. I can't tell which. Jazzmaster, right? American Pro 2. I think it was the same thing that Mike has. And the guy's playing jazz on it. And I stand corrected. I was mentioned at the Buffalo meeting, he was playing through a Marshall. He wasn't. He was playing through a Black Star. And I'm just like, but sounding jazzy. And I'm like, this is like me playing the 8-string through the Princeton. This is not supposed to.
That was the best review ever. 8-string Princeton.
Well, based on lack of inventory, there might be a 9-string demo coming out.
Why?
Well, because I'm just going to call it a harp. That's a harp. That's not a guitar. That's a fucking harp.
That like requires a bow to play or something.
Yeah, and I don't know how to play those lower register because it's all single note. You're playing percussion on it, basically.
Oh yeah,
genty
it's
stuff.
like corn.
But I'm just gonna chords, rockabilly riffs, chords. Hello, Mayhem.
What up, Mayhem? I love that freaking icon he's got for his absolute mayhem.
Right? There, we'll blow it up for the people on the big screens. 9-string, it's a bass. Well, it's like 5 bass strings and 4 guitar strings.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't chug hip, Well, I do, but once in a while, and I gotta stretch first.
You chug versus gent. There's
yeah.
a difference.
Way difference. Yeah, I do
your old school thrash chug versus past new school.
I'm not doing syncopated bullshit. I am like 16th notes for the next 7.5 minutes. And then, that's it. Because I went to the school of James Hetfield. So, which I was doing last night. It was like, I don't know, about 11 o'clock last night, and that fella decided, well, this weed's not really working. I'm going to play some guitar. And I was down here until about midnight. It turned out with the Boogie in a Box cranked, and I'm like, whoa, this is pretty heavy for fucking midnight. And I went upstairs, and the cat gave me a dirty look. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the other reason the Blues Junior was in here instead of the Marshall.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I didn't even think that. Brilliant. And then just play my normal stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. Although, and then Matt said he'd teach me. Oh, that's Zach saying hey to Mike over there. I'll teach you a riff. I bet. Now you gotta remember the riff.
When you're playing like 7, 8, 9 strings, are you generally like dropping?
It's all drops.
Yeah, so you can just bar for the bass.
I think that's the weird thing, because it's not tuned to fifths, it's tuned to fourths or third. Yeah, I don't fucking know, but yeah.
But it's basically like
there's a drop in there,
drop D. Yeah. So you can just bar across those 3.
I don't know. All I know is even if you play a power chord on those low strings, you just look over and the Princeton's just dancing on the floor.
Oh yeah,
I don't know these frequencies.
It's trying to hit like.
Have you met my brother, the bassman? He's designed for this shit. Oh yeah,
I don't even know if a bassman is designed for frequencies that low.
Yeah, drop Z, exactly.
Drop Z, yep.
That's it. It's all the drops. Yeah, I don't know.
I
think only whales hear that bottom string, anyways. Like the human ear isn't even picking up those frequencies. I swear.
Yeah, the Epiphone with no frets is drop C. That's about as low as I got right now.
I could potentially do that because I usually keep one guitar in D standard, so it's just a quarter turn away.
C, D standard, D.
Jesus, it's like I'm interviewing you, Matt. I always get Matt a hard time about those.
The deep chuggies.
Well, the man owns like nothing but baritones, and even they're detuned. I'm like, easy. You don't need to detune a baritone. It's already low enough. He's like, no. How low can you go?
I really want to.
There's only whales and cows here. Exactly.
I played one finally when I was down in Des Moines and really dug it. Other than whoever set the guitar up was terrible and didn't know how to cut a nut. So trying to play anything on the first fret about tore your finger off. Like, how do you have that much nut?
Apparently, Billy, and I'm pretty sure that 9-string will do it.
If you 9-string detuned to double down A through a Princeton brown note.
Well, the weird part is, like, if it's not, it's like, with those weird thing where your tuner will figure out, oh, you're halfway to the next note, so it doesn't know which one to track on. And I remember tuning that 8-string. It's like, is this, and it tells me a letter. Is this what you look for? I'm like, fuck if I know. I don't know how to tune this thing.
And if you go multi-scale, you can't use the nice polytune where you can just strum all the chords and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. Cutting a nut properly is an art, Joe. Half the places don't know how to do it anymore.
No, including manufacturers.
Yeah.
Because I know most of the time manufacturers are just putting tusk nuts in, and they're not even shaving them down.
They don't shave them. Nope.
You're like, you do realize tusk nuts are oversized by default, which pisses me off. Because they do, that's the case, your nut shelf is too low, Josh, which has been no guitar I've ever owned, which has been dozens, or anyone I know ever. Guess what? The poor motherfucker that has that can put a fucking shim in it.
Yep.
Fuck him. It's in a blister pack. Cut a corner off the fucking blister pack. There's your shim. Done. Yep. No, sanding for fucking 20 hours.
That's straight belt sander on low speed.
Right.
And then you really love it if it's bone.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking I might use a bench grinder in a video just out of hilarity. Because I'll have the pencil line. Now you're just going to want to ease in. Ease in. Zing! There we go. All right, and we're done.
Just get an air tool out. Nice 40 grit. Now watch as I turn this into chalk.
Oh, I could, because I got the compressor out in the garage, and the workshop's just down a flight of stairs from the garage.
Oh, there you go.
I got, the 30, 40-foot airline, so I could. Oh, no, I'm just thinking. No, the next time I have to replace tuners, because I'll do it on I got to use the air gun to remove the nuts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's going to be so loud for the headphone user.
Yeah. Just instant clipping. My ears are ringing. My buddy's got a giant Milwaukee 3/4 inch and it's battery powered. And that thing hits like a freight train. And we had to rebuild that entire car trailer. And, all the bolts are just rusted to crap. So my ear felt like I had been swimming for 5 hours underwater. I couldn't hear crap for half the rest of the day.
Put the nuts back on. Do I use an air ratchet? So it's just that screaming high pitch. You have it super low. So really you're holding it open for like 30 seconds just to do a single turn.
Actually, I've got an old air that would work perfect for that, because it, even on high, moves about that fast. Because it's just so old and clunky.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And if for the air gun, you got to have it set super low, so it is buffeting for like 5 seconds before catching.
Yeah. Yep.
Working about as well as your typical electric impact from back in the day.
I still have my first impact, and it was from a garage sale, and I think it was made in like 1962.
Nice.
It has all the dings and all the dents. It works, but it'll barely take off lug nuts anymore.
Yeah, I'm really liking this idea. I'm just like the tapered impact bit. Socket. It's gonna be tapered down to so small.
Now you gotta do it.
Yeah, now I got it. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
This guitar repair brought to you by PBR. Bad decisions.
Snap on and Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yeah, that's not a good combo. They're like, what in the redneck engineering are we about to witness? Yeah, it's like me painting a guitar on a windy day yet again and running out of paint halfway through the paint job.
Homo Rody, you are correct. Buffalo horn smells way worse than bone.
Yeah.
It's that waxy whatever the hell in the horns that just... I don't even think I have... I've got a freaking Viking horn that a buddy of mine maybe... Oh, God. Reeks.
It's made from a human rib. It's like, oh, damn.
Big mother.
Exactly.
We're talking down to a watch bolt. All the adapters just
basically holding it overhead. Easy, and it's just swaying around.
Swinging all over the place. Yeah. We'll get this, don't worry.
Well, that was as bad as I had a cordless drill. I remember because I had to drill out the holes for tuners, and I was doing it on a live. I did it live because I used to do repairs live before I had the Sunday show. It'd be Sunday setups,
right?
Repairs live, and I had this drill that would only work once. Once you put the battery in, the trigger only worked once, and then you had to reset it for whatever reason. So literally, I got the drill working, and it's all 6 holes, and I don't let off the trigger once. I'm just, all right, we got one shot.
And then they're like a NASCAR crew.
Yeah. Big 3/8 inch bit hogging out tuners for Grover tuners. On the it was. I think it was on my it was on my Chibson. I didn't even care, obviously.
I should send you my freaking. Do you got a drill press?
I do have a drill press actually.
That makes freaking drilling those so much less nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
When you can use your entire body to stabilize the guitar and just go, yeah.
Violent earth path. Yeah, exactly. But I took time to tape up the headstock so I didn't blow it out. Blow out the finish. So there was that.
Learned that lesson on Epiphone Junior back in 1990 something.
Yeah, go back on the channel, folks. Way back in the how-to playlist, probably right at the beginning. It would be, believe it or not, folks, people that kid about my soldering skills. But again, that's age, arthritis, and a variety of things. Because again, I used to teach soldering in the military, folks. Like a fella used to have skills to the point, Josh, where I did live pickup swap live streams.
I mean, if you use flux, it's not that bad.
Well, yeah. Well,
the
I
flux,
generally use a
flux helps a lot.
Or anyways, because I'm lazy that way.
Yeah.
Plus flux, because you can never have enough flux.
No. But my buddy had never used flux before, and he always wondered why there was shit flying and popping everywhere. I'm like, flux.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And I'm like a plumber when it comes to flux. Like, just lather it on.
I just dip the entire wire into it.
Yep.
Done. So it's like welding. Well, if you're making, do you have gas? The difference is gas makes it so it doesn't pop and burn through your shirt and burn into your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Same with flux. Flux makes no poppy pops.
Yeah, I need the glasses too, John. But also I don't have the dexterity anymore to solder. I get the shakes when
we got to get you some of those awesome old schools with the side protection and everything for for your
the gray
out of bed. Right? Yes.
Yeah. So when you look up at the camera, you look like fucking Bubbles from Trailer Park Boy.
What about keys?
Or do you get the magnetic lens face shield? It just blows up your whole face. Old man fishing glasses, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, Ken like
no hip, no. There's nothing fun about sitting there going and then feeling a cherry go right down your back into your butt crack.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing fun about that.
Tinning the wire helps, yes.
Yep. Yeah, flux, tin, and then all you got to do is lay it on there and go, bloop, done.
Yep. I have no idea what Terry just posted.
Well, come on, Joe. You just don't spill whiskey, period. That's a waste of whiskey.
True. Yeah, I flux and then I tin. That's how that works.
Yeah, the flux makes it tin easier.
I bet you have, Hip. I bet you have, since you've been welding. Like, I think Hip's basically been welding as long as I've been on this earth. I swear.
Yeah, but most of my soldering is for automotive stuff, so I'm butting two together. So I flux both of them, stick them together, and then I add until it saturates.
Yeah, it's probably me installing a Floyd Rose on a Dano. You're right, BC.
Well, it couldn't be.
Reno, Bo. That was last weekend.
Redneck Refin Part 2.
So
that's where we fix what we broke in Part 1.
That would be me painting a guitar outside, probably running out of paint partway through, realizing I don't have another can of the same paint. Deciding on fly, well, we're going with a different color now. Well, you gonna treat the previous paint? No, it's still tacky. It'll accept.
Still tacky. It'll blend. It'll blend right in.
Yeah, it'll blend. Yeah. It was a calm day, I swear. As soon as I started shooting it, the wind came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that didn't even touch the guitar. Fuck. All right.
Calm.
Well, I guess so. Instead of being the recommended distance, I'll just have that distance.
Lawrence, I feel for you. Valve covers on a 5.4 are not fun.
I don't think I've actually ever done a service job on a Dano, Mike.
I tend to stick away from the 5.4s and the 4.6s just because of the spark plugs.
Well, see, the funny thing about that is, Sean, is after I did the paint job, then I started relicking it. And in the relicking process, got rid of all the orange peel and started feeling really nice and smooth. And then relicking down through is like going through a paint job with the burst underneath coming through, which looked awesome. And then even some bare wood showing through that. But if you look closely, all the condoms are still in the pick guard, the truss rod cover. So it's this completely relic guitar that has mint plastics.
Well, you can do like, what the hell is that guitar I've got in the basement? The Firefly. Their relic job is literally just a sandblaster.
Right.
And with the plastic that was still on the pick guard. And so the plastic is gone, but the plastic underneath where the knobs were was still there. So you go to turn and it's just nothing but sand and plastic. Like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I
still have $140
covers on my Gretsch there I bought in the spring. I still haven't taken any of the condoms off the guitar.
No! Take them off.
Yeah. If I want to sell it, it's still minty mint-ish. As soon as it gets a scratch, though, then it's like, well, there's no point taking the rest.
That's why I like used. I don't have to take any of the plastics off. Well, other than actually,
I rarely buy new. I don't like buying new.
The Jerry Cantrell still had all the plastic on it.
Come to think of it, like I've only ever bought 2 or 3 guitars new in my life. And that was one of them. Everything else is used at the store.
That Fender was new. The Placid one before it was new. Other than like cheap Fireflies and shit. I'm not counting those.
Right.
And then my
really used market for those.
My orange wood acoustic.
Bo, you bought guitars and never played them, so I'm not surprised.
And then my first
I like how he found Josh. Like it's a fucking archaeological discovery.
Oh yeah.
Shit, didn't know I own this. Still mint. 2017 something or other. And
he pulled it out of the case and played it once, tuned it up, put it away.
Yep. course, it was one of the reasons I ended up with a damn Explorer last year.
Oh my God. ABS bridge on an old Tysco?
Nice.
Jeez. That'd be rough. Oh yeah, I can't highlight.
I was like, maybe an ABR bridge? Yeah, ABR bridge. That's
yeah, I'm guessing so.
Bo's got vampire guitars. Never seen daylight, right? Charles just spit out his drink. Am I wrong, Charles 75 at? Am I wrong? Because you just spit out your drink over that one.
All over the screen that was looking at a Gresh.
Well, you'd love this, Josh. I come down here the other day because I was like, I think I'm going to have to make a restring video. It's that time of year, plus lack of content at Long McQuaid. So I come down here. I'm like, all right. I grab my hollow body Gretsch because it usually does well on the setup videos and stuff. So
shows up nice.
Playing it to see if it's due for a setup and restring. Start playing it, and I was like, these strings feel pretty new. Sound great. I can't really justify replace the strings. So after I get done playing, I go upstairs and I bring up the old YouTube studio, type in to see when the last time I did a restring on. Fucking August 15th. I'm like, well, no shit. No wonder it feels great. No recollection of doing that. And the worst part is I do that shit sober. But apparently I more than offset the sobriety later in the day.
Right. Later that evening. Erases all the memory from earlier that day. Yeah. Fucking, yeah, you did it 20 days ago. No shit. Oh.
Yeah, like, so it explains why it feels and plays great. All right.
Charles says, yep, he spit it out.
We know, Bo. And yeah, I thought so, Charles.
LP.
Yeah, I saw that. What was it? Shows whether it plays great. If you look down the neck, the length of fret is with the straight as alligator teeth. Yeah, right. They did not run the file down the side.
It does this number on the edges.
Right. Okay, Bo. I won't say a word.
Won't say a word.
Let me guess. Would that be the 12 string? Or is it another one? Because he said, I own a Gretsch. I'm like, well, I know you got the 12 string last year. And I saw a look on his face. And I'm like, he owns more than one Gretsch. And he just realized he owns more than one Gretsch.
That was still one of the best moments watching him restring and try and tune. Just,
yeah, I just remember, that was Trev's birthday.
Yeah.
200 milligrams edible, now trying to tune a 12 string and it's not working out. I'm like, send him the link because I like a train wreck as much as anyone else.
My wife was sitting next to me on her computer and I'm watching and I was like, babe, take off your headphones. You got to see this.
And it sounded terrible, but I didn't care, right? Because I was like, I know how bad an out-of-tune 12 string is, but the comedic value more than offset. Like you can turn down the volume and still enjoy.
Yeah.
You just need to catch up, Charles. Because I believe Charles only has one as of now.
One guitar as of right now?
No, one Gretsch.
Or one Gretsch.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
He's got, I think he may own more guitars than me.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure he has quite a few. One Gretsch.
I think he might owns more guitars than me. And I've been playing since 1989. So.
And Charles is in Texas, so I could actually send him stuff.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, including guitar collections, apparently.
Oh, God. Well, Arizona's got collections out the ass, too.
Right.
All the people that got sick of California after, the boomers that moved out there back in the heyday in the 60s and then got sick of California, moved down to Arizona.
One. Everybody needs at least one.
I'm currently Gretchless, too, and that's why I've been looking.
What?
There. Now, here's one that I will.
I was like, I know. Well, all right, yeah.
Hold on, because there is.
You've had a couple, I thought.
No, the orange Gretsch was the last one I had, and I traded it for that pistol.
Right.
Because I only had $600 in the Gretsch and the pistol was $1,200 brand new.
Right. And I hate guns, but I was like, I get the trade, Josh. I get it. It's like,
well,
hey,
and I'm really happy because I went and I shot that pistol and it shoots phenomenally. So,
by the way, Doug, Mark Taft asked me to let you know I was playing cornhole against Mark the other day. Scored a 10 on him. Best end of my life.
All right, let me see if I can do this again here. Here. Present. Here. Yes, I understand that. Here's this one that I'm kind of looking at.
Oh.
Tennessee Rose, made in Japan.
I've always been partial to that finish.
With papers, made in Japan.
Oh, made in Japan.
Yeah, for $1,600, I'm very tempted.
That's not a bad price either.
No. Too bad he doesn't have any like other pictures. It's just that. Like, come on.
Well,
and he's
I don't mind his taste in
like an hour and 40 minutes away.
Taste in decor.
But yeah, that could be right up my alley. Just depends on when I get that 63.5 Galaxy back. If depends on how much stuff I'm gonna have to put into that. I wish
2 Gretches.
Facebook would let you zoom in a little on that. Remembering to move the chat back this way, so I look.
No, they're same scale, Billy. Charles approves. Do you, Charles? It's more than $300.
Yeah, but it's made in Japan.
Yeah, but he doesn't like spending more than $300 regardless of country of origin.
It's made in Japan.
I know. Oh, Sean has a Billy Duffy White Falcon. Nice.
I'll put
Let's look at the Brian Setzer hot rod.
I'd pay full price if he's got a case for it that is a Gretsch case.
Just look at the Brian Setzer hot rods. I don't like just a single master volume, even though I use everything up all the way. I have. That's right. I have. Right.
Are you talking about the hot rod, the like flat black and red?
Yeah, he's got several.
Yeah.
There's a magenta. He did magenta circle that is
versus,
it reminds me of like my grandmother's lipstick.
Versus his nice replica of his 58 or whatever it is, the orange.
Yeah. No, he's still playing the actual one.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But wait, even then, I don't. That's hardly. It's like, oh, it's a vintage Gretsch. I'm like, is it? Because TV Jones reshaped the neck and got rid of the 0 fret, changed the fret size on the rest of the frets, changed the fretboard radius. I'm like, that's not a vintage Gretsch anymore.
But he technically did all that back in like the 80s. So.
Right. And then he put up there and he fell down and broke apart and he rebuilt it again. So it's like the Greeny Les Paul all over again, which I say is the biggest overpriced thing in the world because that guitar was in 27 pieces. How much of that guitar is actually a vintage Les Paul?
But if it has even one speck of his blood on it, they'll pay $1 million, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I think Charles is okay with that, Billy. I think Charles is okay with that.
That's only if it fell
let him know which truck.
The person that picked it up doesn't know what the hell that is.
I can just see Charles is just tailgating every truck he sees, just waiting. Big
he's Gretsch on the side of the truck. He's just sitting there tailgating the shit out.
It's like when I see a Long McQuaid tractor trailer go by. It's hilarious because they don't do franchise. It's all company stores. So they do milk run at least monthly, and it's literally a tractor trailer or 5-ton trucks with Long McQuaid on the side because the warehouse is an hour up the highway. So.
Yeah.
And they do because it'll be all the store stuff. Plus, they're the wholesaler for like Gibson in Canada is actually wholesaled by Long and McQuaid, who's also the retailer, which makes no sense to me.
What?
And it was hilarious because like I've seen the QA of the Gibson stuff coming through my Long McQuaid. I'm like, wow, QA's really up. And then I'll go over to another buddy's shop who's a Gibson dealer. He's like, yeah, 30% of my orders get sent back due to flaws style. Really? They're like, oh, wait. I understand why, because your direct competition is also your wholesaler. So they're keeping all the good shit for themselves and sending you all the shite. When they remember to. Because that's the other thing. Like, the amount of guitars that come into that long quade that I'm like, why did you accept, like, finish flaws, like runs in paint? I'm like, this should have been caught at the warehouse and sent back to the manufacturer.
Right.
Now you're stuck with it on the store level, and all they do is mark it down as a demo model, so they knock $100 off it.
B stock, yeah. Which I'm sorry if you're spending that much. Now, I don't know if anyone watches. It's a God. I can't remember the name of his channel right now, but he mainly does amp reviews. Metalhead dude. And he went to Sweetwater and blew 10 grand because they had 25% off basically everything, amps, and it was their used warehouse,
right?
And they usually
basically their returns.
So he's picking up. I mean, I think he walked out with 5 amps and 5 guitars for 10 grand.
I believe it.
And some of the amps he was getting straight up robbery prices on.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing, because prices aren't negotiable here on new stuff because of MAP. But if something becomes B stock or they turn it into a demo, I'm like, well, what's a demo? They're like, well, stuff that's been played that's here and out on the floor. I'm like, well, then everything on the floor qualifies as a demo. And they're like, fuck you. I'm like, well, it does by that logic.
It does, by definition. If I've taken it off the wall and played it, it's a demo.
Exactly. And so my Squier Bass 6 last year was listed as a demo, so they knocked, I think instead of being 600, it was on for 550, we'll say.
Right.
And as such, and they were doing their attic sale or Black Friday or some bullshit reason to mark shit down. And I'm like, they're like, what do you want to pay for it? I'm like, 400. Like, okay. And I'm like, tax in. Because it's 13% sales tax. I'm like, no, tax in. They're like, oh. They're like, well, it's price. I'm like, I don't care what it's priced at. And the guy who was doing the deal had already given notice, so he didn't care at that point. He's like,
right. Well,
let's put it through. And it was funny because I asked them the other day, what do you give me on trade on this thing? Because, fella has been looking at a Gretsch recently, and they're like, do the numbers. I'm like, oh, we'll give you 400 on it on trade. I'm like, sweet, because I've already done a setup video on it that's already made like $35. So I'm like, actually up 35 on the game. Zach says Cosmo Music checks every guitar when it comes in. Well, they should, but most music stores do, unless because most music stores are like owned by a dude and doesn't want to be shafted because you can't have 30% of your order go back for whatever reason. So it makes it, but it's these guys, because it's all company stores, they're just force fed. They get a monthly order, comes in every month. They don't know what's coming in. Now they can also order stuff in as well over and above, but it's like, oh, next month's Fender month. They'll get pushed a bunch of FMIC stuff. So few Fenders, few Gretches, few Jacksons, Charvels. Even though Jacksons and Charvels don't sell around here.
About the nicest thing I ever got out of the box new was that Orangewood acoustic. That thing showed up in tune, flawless. I mean, just flawless. And it was I think I got it on like super sale. I think I spent $245, free shipping, and it's amazing.
That's exactly
with Fishman pickups in it.
Or if the guitar has been rented, Mike, they can then mark it as demo.
Oh, yeah.
But it depends. Because if it's a good seller, they won't. They'll rent it out for a weekend. They'll still have it listed as new.
As long as there's not a little scratch of a pick or anything.
Exactly.
If there's no proof.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. I don't mind it too, because I'll point out the flaws and get a deal as a result. Like it was one of the last Gretches they did. It was a jet style with the gold bagel stick in the what was it called? It was that black satin, no, black pearl. That's what it
Black
was.
pearl.
And so I've been baiting on it, and I noticed it's got a high fret. So right there, I'm like, that's $200 in my opinion. So I'm already going to get them turned down to a demo model. Now we can negotiate because that's a $200 repair, unless they want to send it out and have it leveled.
I was about to say, I don't know if Long McQuaid does repairs there or not, but
they don't.
Oh, so they'd have to send out. So
yeah, basic stuff. They can do basic stuff there, like, you know.
Well, to me, a high fret isn't that bad.
And it wasn't bad because it's like the 15th or 16th fret. I'm never going to play up there, but that doesn't matter, Josh.
But if you play the 12th fret, if it's high enough, it's going to buzz.
Yeah, but that, you know, even if I'm
never take a little mallet and go.
Yeah, it could have been like the 18th fret. Doesn't matter. I'm never going to play up there, but the fact it's high works to my advantage.
Yeah. Hey, it's bargaining shit.
They don't know I'm never going to play up there.
Right.
Although they could. Bullshit. We've seen your demos. You never played with on the 12th fret.
You don't play anything about the 5th fret. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But I could. And therefore.
Yeah. Because it's like a $1,250 guitar. I'm like, $1,250 for a Jet made in China? That's.
Yeah. See,
Because, well, I'm sure it's the same thing in the US. It's probably pushing $1,000 at Guitar Center because it's going to be a Guitar Center exclusive, the same as it's a Long McQuaid exclusive.
I don't think I
can. Not Buzz.
I think my limit's like $700-800 for a made in China guitar. I don't know.
Well, if you're building it to a good spec, fine. But you know, like, was it that new Epiphone Jimi Hendrix V? Those are over $2,000 Canadian.
Was it over?
Yeah. So yeah, I think they're like 15, 16 American.
Yeah.
But again, it was like, well, like the Greenie, the Epiphone Greenie. When I picked it up, I get it because first of all, I'm looking. Oh, it's got smaller vintage frets, and I'm like, right there, that's a big deal because you have to reset up the machine to put in, like,
yep.
I'm like, or you're having someone do it by hand. Like, there's an added cost. So right there, I'm like, yep, that's a $200 upgrade as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Because I get it, you got to recoup your costs. You know, the fact it was finished, the fact it was all Gibson spec under the hood. All right. Well, that means you're shipping Gibson spec wiring and setups.
What the Jerry Cantrell price was last year for new for the Wino. I know the Wino was
really getting their shit together too. But again, it's like, I think a lot of people don't realize when they'll say, "Oh, the country this make crap guitar." No, they make what they're contracted to make. Right. As an example, like Billy says, those Eastmans, they're made in China and they're pushing $2,000. But you look at it and spec just as good as anything built anywhere else in the world. And good quality parts cost money. It's just the only difference is labor cost. How cheap are you paying the person that's assembling said guitar?
And how long are you paying them to stay on that neck and make sure it's, and how long are they sitting there standing? Are you going, no, I don't think it was $1,600 for a Cantrell. Not for an Epiphone, Gene. No. I think
they're that much Canadian because the slashes and 15, 16 Canadian now.
I think these were like $8.99 new, but I bought it used and it had like some pick scratches right here,
right?
And then until I realized that the plastic was still on and pulled it off, and I think I got it for $650.
Right.
And it was in Chicago, and I had one friend in Chicago pick it up. They were going to a car show, give it to my other friend from my town here,
right,
at the car show to bring back to me here. So I didn't even have to pay for shipping. Woo-hoo.
Perfect.
$1,200 plus in the U.S. Jeez. Well, I guess I scored. I thought that Wino was cheaper than that.
No,
I thought the white, whatever it was, like the.
Oh, no, he's got a whole. That is the other two.
Yeah.
There's all these Prophecy ones. I'm like, when has Jerry Cantrell ever played a fucking Prophecy?
Yeah, I don't think he's. Now, don't get me wrong. That white Prophecy is a pretty sick looking guitar, but the price tag on it, I was just like, no. Now, if I would have found one for the price of this, yeah, I would own it. But
yeah, but then you're playing Yamaha Revstar, Billy. I don't like them. I know you like them. I don't like them.
I tried one out at West Music the other day. They play really nice.
And honestly, I was going to get a Respretto. I'd buy the Indo because I've done Indos and the Jap ones, and the Jap ones aren't worth the extra money.
Yeah, because that's like a $1,200 jump in price, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like a $400 jump in quality, in my opinion.
Right.
You know, it's like I'm like
you can buy the Indonesian, have a proper setup, and it is the Japanese.
Yeah, it's like they'll build you a $50 guitar over in China if you want one, because it's just going to be made out of poplar. You're going to have fucking solder for frets, the cheapest pickups they can make. But
yeah, just go on Alibaba.com and you can see what you can buy for $50.
Exactly. Yeah, this shit's all built in the same places. It's just off hours.
Yeah, see, there we go. $849 at Sweetwater for the wino. I didn't think they were over $1,000.
It was like with one of the worst or best kept secrets with all those Gibsons back in the day was the fact they were built after hours in the Epiphone plant.
Yep.
And like Gibson and Epiphone, they're like, no, they aren't. I'm like, really? Because I own one, and when I replace the pickups, they're Epiphone pickups.
Epiphone branded pickups.
Branded, but not potted, because they're basically seconds. So they never made it to that stage. And that's what they're using, all the seconds for everything. And that's what they're building these Gibsons out of, is all the offcuts and stuff.
It's like
that's why you get weird shaped horns and headstocks.
Yeah.
Because they fucked it up in the first place. They can't sell it as.
Yep. Well, this has 2 scarf joints, but I can sell it for $150.
Yep. It's probably the last thing to do is cut out the end of the headstock because they don't know yet.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Starting
all
to
the
feel
conversations.
Rebuilding that trailer yesterday.
I get it.
Bill, you sold your Les Paul because you like your RevStar better? Really?
Yep.
Wow. Which RevStar do you have?
He's got the Indo one, I think.
It is the Indo?
Yeah.
Because the
now, I do believe he had an Epi Les Paul. Like, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
On Gibby. Not that there's anything wrong with Epi Les Pauls, folks. Out in the fucking headstock.
Got anyway, 2 sitting right here.
Yeah, I've gigged with them for years. Like, believe me, they worked mighty fine, but there is a difference.
Oh yeah.
Having demoed as many guitars as I have over the last few years, which is both a blessing and a curse, because I'll get a comment, 6 months later. What does the guitar feel like? My favorite comment, Josh, what does it weigh? Like, what does it matter? You're not buying this guitar. Unless you're buying that exact guitar, weight means nothing because they don't all weigh the same.
That's how light this one is.
Right? But that's not to say they're all that light.
No. Well, and this is chambered because this is 2008.
Yeah, they're all chambered.
Which is, I think, the first year of chambering.
Yeah, Billy had the 59 Epi Les Paul, right? Which is a decent guitar. Basically, it's a Les Paul. It's a Gibby with poly paint and a different neck angle or a headstock break angle. Yeah, I agree, Joe, on the buyer beware when it comes to Gibsons. But on the other hand, generally, you're not buying a Gibson as your first guitar. So you really should know, or you take somebody until I knew what I was looking for at a guitar, I never bought a guitar without taking a quote unquote expert with me, Josh, which was usually my dad, because if it got my dad's stamp of approval, I knew it was a damn good guitar.
Right. He might not like the music that you played out of it, but
but he'll recognize quality when he sees it, type thing. I still remember as a buddy of mine from high school Was taking lessons, same place as me, because I took lessons for the first year or so. I was playing until the guy's just like, just join a band. You don't need all that. I'm like, well, looking back, no, I did need all that fucking theory, bastard. Anyways, well, it saved a bunch of money. But he's a year behind me, hell of a player now. One of the best chicken pickers in the area. But he had this, he opens the case to show my dad his telly. He goes, here, Dad's telly player. Yeah, telly. Thin line telly. Natural finish, gold hardware. Dad, he went on the floor. It's a kit. Like, that's like maybe a heartbeat, maybe two. And you just see my buddy just because he spent like $600-700 on this thing.
Oof.
Like the price of a used American telly at the time. And his father's standing there and he's like, no, it's not a kit. And Dad's like, yeah, it's a kit.
Let me point out everywhere. Here.
How can you tell? He goes, well, one, thin line never came with gold hardware, and two, that look at the fender logo on the water slide. It's proud. It's not It's not
under the clear coat.
Yeah, you can tell. You see the outline like a kit.
Yep.
And that's what people were doing. Like long before there's Gibsons, people were buying kit guitars and passing them off as real all through the 80s. And I remember the thing was you had your old Blackguard, but you never toured with it. So what you did was you went to Glazer, who made you a replica of your Blackguard. So your Blackguard stayed home. And all these guitars had Fender headstocks, Fender logos. They were exact replicas of their actual guitars. And that's your road guitar was a replica of your vintage stuff. Oh, yeah, Gibson's a real thing, Gary. Sure.
Chinese made to look like Gibsons. Gibson. Oh, with the Floyd.
Gibson.
Notice the difference in the G's there?
Yeah, this is not Alex Lifeson Access, although it does have the nice curve.
Yeah, that would be.
That's why I got it.
I don't need the Access carve. I've got long fingers.
Don't need the gut cut either.
The gut cut would be nice.
Yeah, exactly, Billy. But yeah, like this is wrong.
Oh, way wrong.
Yeah, but my buddy spent $200 on it.
Does it play nice?
No, because the bridge is actually in the wrong position. You can't intonate it.
Oh, it's too far forward or back.
Yeah, so I think that's. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. It's been sitting there for ages. I don't. It looks much redder in person.
Gibsons and Chenders.
Yeah.
So you can play Chunderstruck.
Right. The thing is, I paid $50, $75 for it.
Yeah. I mean, parts. Hey.
Where's the white custom? Upstairs in a case, Terry. Yeah, because I got a white custom Gibson as well, which has replacement pickup. It's got Duncan 59s in it and locking tuners because I had them. That was the one live on air. They make Chinese knockoffs of everything back in the day. I remember looking at.
You can buy a Prince, like the crazy Prince symbol guitar for like $350.
Fuck, Steve from Boston, aka Pixie Licks. That's how he started his channel. That's how I discovered him, was for his Gibson reviews. He had the Wolfgangs. He had, which they were abomination. He had obviously several Les Pauls.
Yep. And one of every 8 was actually somewhat decent. And he was
Yeah, some needed a lot of work, some don't. But worst case, you're getting bones that you can work with. So,
what was Prince's telly? The
Honer Mad Cat.
Mad Cat, yeah.
I think it was Mad Cat. Was what they called it. Yeah,
the one where he played on stage for "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and everyone went, "Holy shit, he can play!"
Through an all Boss pedal board too. What the fuck?
and it sounded amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, how? You're using Boss pedals, cheap Japanese guitar.
But he
And God knows what for an amp. Probably a Roland Jazz chorus, probably because 80s.
Yeah. Oh. Block my wife as she comes in. She's gonna crawl in. They can still see you, Dork.
All I saw was this ass scooting across the so.
Good job, man.
You're welcome.
Well, considering we got 49 middle-aged white guys watching,
right.
Thank you for the highlight of the show.
Right, yeah.
You're welcome.
It's an invasion.
Well, at first she didn't say anything, and I was like, oh crap, is it the 4-year-old coming up? This is going to suck. Yeah, I forgot to set the GoPro to the narrow field, so it's the wide. It can see everything.
Oh.
It's great for showing off guitars, because, you know, you
can show pretty much. Well, if I scroll, yeah, then I can show most of the guitar.
Right.
Can't see the ones that are behind the camera, but, you know, hey.
Ah, boogie amps. Okay, Jeff K. You got any other questions, concerns, topics in there? We'll go a few more minutes here, folks. It's always fun having Josh here, hanging out.
I need to turn that light down. The redder my face got as I drank my beers, the worse I look now. There, now I'm a little less. Oh, because when we started, the sun was still coming through those windows. That's why.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
It's a bold memory.
That's true.
Did you know you can change the color of this? I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
She's gotten to play with it. I haven't. I just moved it.
She probably actually looked at the manual.
No.
Josh,
give him benefit there.
Revenge of the Alcohol ink marker.
Who was the first real metal band? Ooh. I'll go Black Sabbath.
I'd go Sabbath.
Because especially if you're going to say real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Screamin' Jay Hawkins would have had different guitarists and amps that could distort better.
Or Blue Cheer had more than one hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Cheer would get an honorable mention, but again, you know, a one-off song as opposed to, you know, just catalog.
Catalog.
Because they covered a lot of bases. They had the high gain, they had the down tuning covered, the dark overtones of the lyrics. See you, Gear Junkie.
Peace.
Followed quickly by probably Motorhead.
Yeah. Someone already mentioned Deep Purple. My wife chiming in and said, what about Deep Purple?
That I don't know, Gary. The whole Chibson thing, really, that was a big deal around 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd say.
About
people still buy stuff off there, but
like
it's not
late 80s, late 90s, mid 90s.
Especially, well, because now we have all these like Fireflies and stuff. So that like that's, you don't have to buy a knockoff. You can buy just some cheap company, because there was no real cheap companies. Wow, Jay Tercers, you know, stuff.
Yeah. But they're not trying to make an exact replica, and they're not putting Gibson on the headstock.
No, and a $200 guitar now is much better than a $200 guitar.
Oh yeah,
or even 20 years ago.
Yeah, hell, even 15. I mean, I paid. What did I pay for my Epiphone Junior?
Yes,
that was my first guitar.
I would say Priest right in behind. Deep Purple, yes. Also, I'd say the Scorpions.
How far back do the Scorpions go?
They go pretty fucking far back.
Jeez, I guess I didn't know. I only knew them from their hair days.
Yeah, no, because there was the whole different lineup with the Ule John Roth years and shit.
Oh, okay. You gotta remember, I was born in '82, man.
I don't wait. Believe me, I wasn't really aware either because I was a casual fan. I knew "Rock You Like a Hurricane," and then they started doing ballads. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking of, Billy. Like 70s, 80s Hondo and Court.
Yep. Oh, and Profile.
Old Hondos.
Profile, which is just like a parts company now, but Profile had a line of guitars. I know because artists carried them. They had Hondos and Profiles, and then they got into Charvettes, which are it's like a Chevette to a Corvette.
Yep,
it's pretty much.
I just appreciate the naming. That's great.
I see now. I'm going to disagree to a point. The ballad's hell because it got the female persuasions involved. So there was that.
Hey, but if you take an old Chevette and you put the Corvette motor in the Chevette, it's way faster than the Corvette.
My buddy he had an old Chevette that he bought for his wife to use as a winter beater. Sold it to a dude. He fucking restored it. He restored it, Josh. He didn't drive it as a winter beater. It's the summer car. And it was a 4-door.
Oh, no. No. It had to be the 2-door, 4-speed.
Oh, no. 4-door, automatic.
Oh.
And I don't even know if it was a Chevette. It could have been the Pontiac Acadian, which is we had the Pontiac clone here.
Yeah. I don't think we had the Pontiac.
He put over $7,000 into it, Josh.
Wow.
I'm like, no Chevette should ever have $7,000 worth of parts.
I've seen one, and the money was put into the motor and the rear end and the transmission that connected the two, and it ran 8.5s.
Exactly, but you're not for a show car.
I think he spent more on the drag tires than he spent on the original car. A Citation, that's what they were, yeah. the Citation.
Town also has a Mint K car. Mint. Like this thing, you tell, it was garage stored, barely driven. I could not believe I saw it go by. I'm like, whoa, with the white, like it was straight out of the catalog with the white wall tires. And
now, was it maroon?
Yes.
I was like, it's either maroon or like a not really light and not really dark blue.
Yeah, they had that silvery blue. It's not quite silver, not quite blue.
Yep.
Yeah. The maroon. And sometimes a cream.
Yeah.
The rare.
But the cream usually had the fake paneling down the side.
Yeah, or had the partial vinyl top.
Yep. Chevy Monzas were sweet. You throw a 383 with a blower in it and a Chevy Monza, you can break speed records. Yep. My uncle that passed away did it. He built the motor and set up the car, and the other guy drove it. I think it was like, this was back in 80 something. It was like 184 mile an hour.
No, the next thing Michael Krause is now is minivans. Like first gen caravans and
my buddy is a doctor. He's like head child psychologist at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, a big hospital. Asked me to find him a 1985 Dodge Caravan.
Yep.
Because that was his first car, and we used to skate, and then we could just pile into the van, and we spilled a quart of oil in the back, and the next day it was just gone. There's no stain. It was just gone.
Yep.
We don't know where it went. It was just
in the undercoating. What didn't drip away.
But those things were great. My buddy had one that was the turbo manual, and that was actually a riot.
Mm-hmm.
Had like a turbo that was maybe this big.
Yeah, the Turbo 4s were the bad thing about them is the heads lasted 2 years before the head gasket went.
Well, he was a hot rodder, and so he inherited it from his mom and put.
I'm saying this from a household that have been. We've had caravans in the household since I believe 87.
Yeah.
And still to this day.
Yeah, we had an 86 and it was the maroon with the fake wood paneling.
We started with the maroon and then we got into the blues.
Yep.
And then the silvery blue. And now I'm into the kind of charcoaly gray color. That's a shit ton of them on the road, which is great because my tailgate's starting to rust out. And I can just go to Wreckers, buy another one that's the same fucking color, and put it on. And I'm good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, hey, minivans are cool for gigging, Bo. I'm not going to lie. They're handy. You know, it's not too wide to load shit in. Lots of room.
Take all the seats out and you can load forever in those things.
Oh, yeah. I currently have the configuration. I have the middle seat removed, so the girls, when they sit in the back, they get to sit way back.
Way in the back.
Conversation, which is really actually quieter for me.
Ours was 2 kids, you know, my parents up front, and then the middle seat removed, and we'd have a cooler with, you know, the sandwiches that mom made for the road trip, so they didn't have to spend money, that were always like soggy no matter what.
Yeah,
and like the lettuce was like dripping out of the sandwich. Yeah.
How about we go with PB&J, Ma? A little less soggy. Just saying.
Nope.
What? I just rinsed the lettuce before I put it on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe store the lettuce in its own Ziploc.
Yeah. You remember the McDLTs, separate sides.
Yep.
All the styrofoam. Just saying. So yeah, we got that going on. Got anything else going on in the chat here? They're all talking about just cars.
All cars now.
It's all car talk.
Lincoln Continental through a cornfields. Yeah. I got a 64 Continental if you want to relive that.
Right.
I'm here in the corn, so they haven't harvested yet.
I got the old man's Ford out this week so I can get it serviced to get it sold. And well, we wheeled it outside, so then we just sat down to a soda pop tasting in front of it because
good background.
Mazel. Yeah, right. So I got to do before I sell it. Just knock about 10 of them out one day.
Yeah.
There's Ian's Guitar Shack. So on that note, we should probably wrap things up, folks. And I'll be back tomorrow night with Canucks with Guitars. We're going to play a guitar and do Q&A and bad album covers. Hopefully Charles will be back this week after last week. Nothing wrong with Unbelievable being there, but like me, he's too jaded to get an honest reaction. It's just
too jaded. Yeah,
I love Chris. He knows we're both because we're old punk rockers and stuff. You can't be a crusty old punk and get an honest facepalm. It's just it doesn't work. Charles, on the other hand, he's like he's like a young deer. Little
young.
Innocent. He's Bambi.
Innocent. That was more the word we were looking for.
Yeah, innocent. Yeah. Charles was like,
oh shit.
He goes, if you said, like, I'm unsubbing now.
Oh shit.
So yeah, as well as I don't know. Oh, and I'll give away some channel memberships tomorrow night too.
Maybe I'll win.
Maybe. Probably not, but maybe.
He's out of here.
Yeah, I knew it. So Josh is still Josh. I'm still me. Y'all are still y'all. And as always, hold those doors open. I don't know. Let Charles
Let me know
hey,
if
traffic.
fall off
He's
my car.
tailgating to get himself a Gretsch, folks. That's what he's doing. So he's tailgating for Gretches.
Maybe.
There's a new show, Charles. Tailgating for Gretches. Which is really, it's just him and me sitting on the tailgate of a truck in a parking lot as people walk by. Like, got any Gretches? Got any Gretches?
Got any Gretches,
Got any
man?
Gretches? And,
Eat
yeah,
them Gretches.
that's right. Pick up your trash, as they say. Oh, I already got stuff set up. Here we are. Here we go. Yeah, be good to each other. Doug's wife's real and all that fun stuff. So's Josh's wife. She's real. We saw her
She's real. She's real.
doing the yeah. See there, proof of life.
Gretsch Becker's
Don't let her,
back.
folks.